in Melbourne for $10,000 this afternoon. Winner take all, and just looking at that centre, it does certainly look very, very greasy, but the rest of the ground, as we mentioned, gentlemen, is in surprisingly good condition after that heavy rain.
Certainly is, Peter. It's interesting to note that Robert Flower is not playing on the wing. I think he's out at half forward, Bob. I can see him on the end of the square moving about.
Yes, Mark Browning, the player who picked him up, as we see the South interchange players, and that's Roberts and Vernon.
So just about set for the first quarter. Umpire Glenn James comes in to bounce the ball. The Swans kicking to the left, the Demons to the right. The Swans possibly favoured by this breeze at the moment, blowing towards a pocket up at the far end. Knocked down by Torben. Trying to get clear was Connolly. Goes to half forward now. Chance for Frank Garvis. Gets it in turn over to Holden. Holden up towards full forward. A long shot at goal. Round, claiming the mark. And the ball rushed through for one behind. Very, very close. Swans fans not appreciative of that, but I don't think it was a mark, Bob.
No, I wouldn't have paid that, Pete.
Stephen Smith brings the ball back into play. Smith with a new number. He's formerly number 35, now carrying Guernsey number 1. So I guess in view of the heavy rain we had overnight and this morning, not a bad crowd here. Knocked down by Moore. Good use of the body. Picked up by Richards. Very close to the boundary line. Long kick back towards centre wing. Picken is there. Likewise Reynolds, who sharks the mark and takes it on centre wing for the Demons. He plays on. Picken does likewise. Up to half forward. Stephen Smith spilt the mark. The ball obviously very greasy. Picked up by Round, showing a bit of pace almost. Out it goes to Hounsell. In the pocket, a snapshot at goal. Looks pretty close, but again off target. And one behind the end result. So two very quick behinds to the Swans, coming up at the minute-and-a-half mark of the opening term. Any moves you can pick up, Bob, so far?
Yes, Jarrett to the back pocket, Boland to the wing. And it's Jarrett who'll kick off now.
Jarrett, long ball, almost up towards the square. Ball fisted away, picked up by Healy. His kick and turn to centre wing. Reynolds again, showing a good turn of pace, gets it out to Robbie Flower on the wing, and that's his position. Flower puts the Demons into attack.
And Reynolds upset Billy Picken that time. There could be a free kick to Browning into his back. And the umpires call play on not to penalise the side, and that's Cruz giving a hefty boot down to Reece Jones. Oh, it's a good mark taken there. It's a make mark there by Chilcott. And that's the young fellow that Bob mentioned at the beginning of the show. He's the local lad from Sydney, Bob, and that should give this kid a good start in front of his home crowd.
Yes, you could pick he was the local by the crowd's reactions.
Well, he's about 30 metres out, just about directly in front. There's the kick by Chilcott, but he's off target and it's through for 1 point. So the Swans move on to 2 points to Melbourne yet to score, but it's early days yet. And we mentioned before, we've had a ton of rain here in Sydney in the last 12 hours, about 1.5 inches to be exact in the old numbers or figures, but the ground has recovered remarkably well. In front there is Torben, knocked out by Moore. Bit of scuffling going on, beautifully picked up by Browning. Browning hooks the ball back to centre half forward. 2 or 3 South Swan players spoiled themselves. It's it going for a hand pass, but it's a bad one. Brady comes in, Allingworth couldn't get it, and finally coming out of the pack is Ackley. Down there it goes towards Chilcott. It's a bit long for the Sydney sider, and the ball is out of bounds. Well, the Swans have started off pretty smartly in this first couple of minutes.
Done all the attacking in 3 minutes so far.
Well, they are kicking with the breeze. It would be at least 2 or 3 goals. Back it comes to Illingworth. Ball finally forced out by Giles, and it's out of bounds about 35 metres, 40 metres around from the Swans' goal. At the moment, we're at just on the 3.5 minute mark, and we're just on 3. And the score, I'm just getting this new scoreboard lined up at the moment. 3 points to Melbourne yet to score. We see the ball knocked down by Holden. There's a chance now for Melbourne to go back into attack. That was Healy. And finally it's clear. The ball shot along the ground by Healy. Back it goes out there towards that half-forward line. Picked up that time by Thorne. The ball across there towards Melbourne's centre half-forward position. It's pushed to the ground. And there's a chance now for Ackley to get a hand pass, but it's a bad one. Healy again grabbed. Plenty of fumbling going on by both sides. And finally for Golo. He was grabbed and he dropped the ball. The umpire said no, as it's finally kicked up there by Tanner. Browning couldn't hold the mark. It hits the deck. Here's a go for Thorne again. He fires at the goals, and he's put it through for Melbourne's first goal. Well, a nice goal by Thorne. And Melbourne 1 goal to the Swans yet to score 3 points on the board, and 4.5 minutes gone of the first quarter.